How's it going, folks? It's Rob here, flying solo today, and I thought I'd bring you up to date on a few things that have happened around the farm here and why Bianca's not with me at the moment. So to begin with, we'll have a look at the old chicken coop / garden area. Now the old chicken area, we've been working on that for a while now. We've taken down there's always someone who's got to complain, blooming cockatoos. We took down the old fence a while back and moved the chicken coop out and repurposed it into, or rebuilt it actually, into the current chicken coop, which we'll check out in a little while. And a couple of weekends ago, Bianca and I tackled the very badly degraded hoop house. Basically the plastic covering it all fallen to pieces except for the ribbings. So there's tons of microplastic in the soil here. So it's probably not an area we'll be growing in. We'll be probably storing equipment in this area here. But we did want to keep the frame because we can use it in upcoming builds. And we also removed the last little section of fence here that was sort of creating the chicken yard as well. As for the remaining hoop house, it's still here, because even though the pumpkin vine in the exposed area is frost affected, we do have a couple of nice fruit on here that we are just going to try and let mature on the vine. We've got one hanging in the doorway there, and there's a couple more just inside over in that area there. So this hoop house will pretty much stay as is for now. In fact, you can probably make out some new growth starting on the vine in there, but we won't be letting it to continue to grow and produce another crop. Once we harvest these ones, there's one there, another one down there, a few more down in there. Once we harvest them, this hoop house will be broken down and moved as well. Now, as to where the hoop house has gone, so this is where the hoop house has ended up, along with our chooks, or some of the chooks. We're pretty much all thinking we're going to have it in this sort of alignment against the fence there. There'll be that one there and the other one down further against the fence. And we're thinking about running the blueberries up against this fence line here. We've got it where we roughly want it. And just to give you a heads up as well, this shed here will be moving and being added on to the end of that one there with a door facing out this way. So we have access directly into this garden paddock, and a fence will go along there. And then along the front, we're going to have one larger hoop house that is made out of some of the trampoline hoops. Hopefully we'll be able to knock something together out of these trampoline hoops, or trampoline hoops, that we salvaged from my father's collection in his backyard. The reason I want to use these ones is they're a little bit wider, as you can see. Thank you, Angus, for helping me put these together. It's a little bit wider than the existing hoop house there, and I'd like a wider one for the aquaponics. Now, we will need somewhere to put the fish, because I don't want them in the hoop house there, so the fish room will probably go just in there at the end of the hoop house, so we can run the water out into the hoop house and then pump it back up to the fish and the filtration unit there. So that's just a work in progress, or ideas in progress at the moment. But yeah, that's where we're up to on the garden side of things. With the chooks, they're doing okay. They're not chickens, by the way, and those guinea fowls are really going to get annoyed in a minute. Yeah, there we go, out they go. Yeah, the chooks are doing their job. They're laying some eggs. There was 6 when I got back yesterday, and it looks like the girls have done the same thing. Laid another 3. And this little lady here, we're calling Eunice, as in Eunice Lovely Howe from Gilligan's Island, or Blackie for short. She made it up here from my sister. She was looking after her for a little while. She was living in a very small coop, unfortunately, in a suburban backyard. So she's not too happy about getting out into the wilderness here. So she's just been hanging around the chicken pen. No, don't peck Chook's egg. She hasn't started to lay yet. It's just Chook and the other 2. So hopefully she'll start laying soon, and we'll have more eggs than we know what to do with, which is always a good thing to happen. Now I've got to close this up with a handful of eggs. Back to the other pumpkins over here, you can see we've got a couple on the fence here, some nice tomatoes as well, more down here, more down here. So this paddock here, actually, there's another one hanging on the fence over there, and another one on the fence over there. This paddock here still has some hidden gems, along with some tomatoes that we have to dig out. Bianca harvested a whole heap while I was down picking up Angus and those hoop houses the other week, and it took them up underneath the house. She decided to pack up the car and take him off down to Brisbane, which brings me to why Bianca isn't in this video. She got down to Brisbane with 30 or so pumpkins in the trunk of the car and woke up in the middle of the night with excruciating abdominal pain. She has had gallbladder issues in the past, and it turns out that her gallbladder had decided to get infected again out of nowhere, and pretty badly this time. The blood work showed no real bad sign of infection, but on the ultrasound it showed that there was a rather large lump at the top of her gallbladder, not at the bottom where it normally inflames and blocks the ducts and everything. So thanks to our health system here, she was pretty much well rushed through to surgery the next day, and she's actually recuperating down at Kira's place in Ipswich. And by the time you guys see this video, I'll probably be on the way back up here with her. I pretty much packed up Angus in the car the next morning after we found out. We headed off down there, and yeah, so I was planning on a different video this week. I wanted to show you what Angus got up to. He did a lot of mowing around the place. He mowed all this area out the back of the shed and around the chicken area, or chicken area, the old chicken area, and a little bit of a pathway down there as well, just tidying the place up again. Unfortunately though, have a look in my almost organised shed. Unfortunately though, the hydrostatic drive on the mower is pretty much fried. So yeah, it's turning into a bit of a money pit, this thing. I have spoken to the local mower guy previously. We had this issue and he thought he may have fixed it, but he did say it was about a 50-50 chance on whether it would actually be a proper fix or not. He basically pulled it apart, pulled out the metal filings that are in there, made sure all the surfaces were nice and clean. And yeah, we got probably about 3 or 4 mows out of it, and it just started to lose power again. So yeah, we're either up for a new hydrostatic drive or a new mower yet. We're just trying to work out what is the most economical. The other thing young Angus did was he tried to answer a question for Dave. G'day Dave from Veneto Gardens. He's been a long time supporter and he's been itching to know what is living within these dams we have out here. We know there are Charax destructor yabbies, the little blue yabbies, and we know there are freshwater mussels in these dams because we've found them outside of the dams. Angus decided to go for a little bit of a fish. He used multiple baits. He used bread, he used shrimp or prawns, and he used ham. And the only thing he got a decent nibble on was the ham. He also tossed in the fish trap, which was a housewarming present from Danny. Thank you very much, mate. Had no luck in there either. Didn't look like any of the bait was taken. So as a result, we're still pretty unsure what is living in these dams. We were intending on spending some of the next day down there fishing, but yeah, unfortunately we had to head down to Brisbane to look after my queen bee. So there you go, folks. There's a bit of an update on our last couple of hectic weeks, hence why you only got a live video hangout last weekend on YouTube. I'd basically arrived the night before. Bianca was off the next day, and then it's just been non-stop since. But yeah, thanks again to Angus for coming up and giving us a hand. Actually cooked us a fantastic meal as well, or me. Bianca was down in Brisbane, so thanks again, Angus, and can't wait to have you back up on the farm. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, Bianca will heal up very quickly. I'll be able to put her back to work and help me with a couple of fences we want to knock down so we can finish off this garden. But I will leave it there. I do hope you're all well and happy, and you are enjoying these homesteading videos, and hopefully we will catch you next video. Cheers folks, and have a top one.